Feathered serpent.
Fascinating. It did appear to knock the vine down near to the point where one of us can reach it.
Didn't they have baseball on Bolton? Show us your fastball, Jim.
Baseball? No one plays that anymore. Good try, though, sir.
The probability of getting the vine on the second try was only 36.53%. Well done, Captain.
Probability? That was a perfect pitch if I ever saw one.
All right, we're on our way.
You are in a densely vegetated area. The overgrowth blocks your view in all directions. You are in a densely vegetated... Kirk is wondering what he said that made Quetzalcoatl so angry. McCoy is filled with premonitions of injury and death. Why else would they have brought him along? Lieutenant Strachey appears fascinated by the vines hanging from the trees. Spock is examining the surrounding terrain for signs of danger. Anything else would be illogical. He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
This jungle is sure lush, Jim. Speaking of lush, I could use a nice saurian brandy about now.
I feel like someone is watching us, Captain.
Staying in this overgrown region could prove quite dangerous. I suggest we continue, Captain.
I am Tolokzak, priest of Quetzalcoatl. Only one who knows his ways may approach his holy ground.
Towering over your security officer, holding a great spear in his huge hand, the great warrior Tolokzak will let no one pass him. Your security officer looks at you for orders and perhaps inspiration. You are James Tiberius Kirk, captain of the USS Enterprise. McCoy seems rather nervous. Spock looks small compared to the great warrior. Primitive lights illuminate this savage scene. You look but see nothing of note.
Nice planet. I kind of like it.
He doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood right now.
Did you ever get the feeling that people don't like you?
Perhaps our host will be more reasonable now. I recommend trying to locate him, Captain.
Indeed, you know the ways of Quetzalcoatl, but only a man of courage, one who will shed blood, will pass. Self-sacrifice is the noblest quality of humanity. You may go. Beware the monster in the water. You may have my knife to defend yourself.
You see a jewel-encrusted, gold-colored knife. You pick up the beautifully crafted knife. You are in a dark forest. You can hear the flow of water to the northwest. You are in a dark forest. You can hear the flow. James T. Kirk realizes that every step increases their danger. Mr. Spock analyzes the surroundings. McCoy doesn't want to be bothered right now. Lieutenant Strachey smiles as he strolls down the path. You are in a dark forest. He doesn't seem to be in a talkative...
Fascinating. The trees are able to grow very close together in this forest, Captain.
It's getting a little cool out here. Keep warm. I don't want a bunch of sick crewmen when we get back to the ship. If we ever do get back to the ship.
Does every planet-side mission have this much adventure, Captain? Mind you, I can't say Mr. Quetzalcoatl is making a very good impression on me.
Lieutenant Strachey is looking at the big creature in the water. A pair of eyes are all that you can see of the rest of this creature. Most of it is hidden beneath the murky water. This plant has a rather thick stem and prickly leaves. The log looks quite old but sturdy. Captain Kirk is looking at the big creature in the water. Dr. McCoy is looking at the big creature in the water. Mr. Spock is looking ahead to a cave opening on the other side of the log.
The tricorder registers a life form, a large marine creature lurking just below the surface of the water. The tricorder registers a life form. It appears that the leaves are slightly toxic. I would not recommend touching it for an extended amount of time, Captain. It would appear that the plant secretes a chemical that is a natural repellent to the creature. It has retreated far downstream, Captain.
Darkness leading into the unknown. They appear to be ordinary rocks. Spock's tricorder might say otherwise. James Kirk remembers the last time he was in a cave and is glad that this one seems more peaceful. Lieutenant Strachey looks nervously at the stalactites hovering precariously above you. Stalagmites rise from the floor of the cave. You look but see nothing. Stalactites descend from the ceiling.
I should warn you, the stalactites could collapse quite easily. Any sudden motion could cause large quantities of stalactites to fall on us.
Well, isn't this just great?
Doctor, I would point out that your voice could also trigger such a collapse.
Will you two stop arguing just once? Then, gentlemen, I would advise you to stop arguing. You know, some shore leave sounds pretty good right now. Will you two stop arguing just once? Then, gentlemen, I would advise you to stop arguing.
It would seem to be a prudent course of action, Captain, if Dr. McCoy would agree.
Spock is his usual stoic self. As usual, Dr. McCoy looks annoyed by the mission. It is a large cluster of crystals.
This appears to be a formation of raw dilithium crystals, Captain. Fascinating. These rocks are limestone, but contain an unusually high content of heavy metals. There are dilithium crystals here, but in a very raw form.
He doesn't seem to...
Reminds me of some spelunking I did on Hades 4. Ever do any climbing, Captain?
Have you ever made it up the face of Half Dome, Lieutenant?
If we ever get back to Earth, 100 credits says I'll beat you.
Captains and security officers, they don't realize how fragile the human body can be.
Sure we do. That's the challenge.
I would suggest we continue on, Captain. It would not be logical to endanger ourselves by remaining here.
I've lost any appetite I may have had for squid, Jim.
You have one dilithium crystal in raw form.
I watched as you worked through the problems I set in your path. You are a valiant, intelligent species. Please sit down. We have much to discuss.
I've had it up to here, with so-called superior beings terrorizing my crew because we're so primitive. Maybe you should see how primitive you are before you go around testing others. One thing first, if you're so peaceful, how come the Aztecs were so violent and aggressive? Yes, I guess we do. Go on. One thing first, if you're so peaceful, how come the Aztecs were so violent and aggressive?
I tried to teach them the concept of self-sacrifice. It would appear they did not completely understand my teachings. You are clearly not the liars I thought you to be. Were you telling me the truth about my disciples, that they became ruthless savages?
The Federation is not in the business of lying, mister. Absolutely. Your best intentions were changed by the imperfect humans that you left in charge after you departed. Such is the way of our race, I'm afraid. You messed up in a big way. Perhaps you should try following the Prime Directive. It changed our lives. Absolutely. Your best intentions were changed by the imperfect humans that you left in charge after you departed. Such is the way of our race, I'm afraid.
I sense truth in this. Perhaps this is what happened to my children on the Klingon world of Rakur, which would explain why they are searching for me. I have clearly abused the power that was given me long ago.
You show great wisdom, sir, but your statement implies that you wish to change your condition.
Indeed. If my mission of peace was overthrown, then I am no longer worthy of my power. Tell me, has your species made progress in the medical arts?
We're a technologically advanced starfaring race. What do you think? That we wouldn't have made progress in medicine? With Dr. McCoy, I sometimes wonder, but yes, I would say we have made considerable advances. Yes, why do you ask? Yes, why do you ask?
At the top of my spine is a gland not found in your species. This is the seat of my power. I wish you to remove it, thereby making me immortal.
Jim, I'll try, but the physiology is completely alien.
You've got to do it, Bones. If the Klingons realize he's no longer a threat to them, perhaps we can avoid a war. Scotty 5 to beam up.